This podcast is part of the No Phony Podcast Network, the home of independent awesomeness.
All right, are we on, sir?
Yeah.
Back, new year. Well, wait, weren't we supposed to have a new studio?
We do have a new studio, bud.
But why aren't we in it?
Because I have to self-quarantine for 14 days because I just got back from California.
Yeah. We'll get in there. It's looking cool. We promise you there is a studio coming. But one or two more on Zoom, I guess we got to do.
Yeah.
No big deal. So hopefully you had a nice holiday and all that shit, blah, blah, blah. That feels like it's so far behind us now that we're almost done with January. What have you been binging on, Casey? I'm thinking about for this show, because we're doing it totally different, I'm just going to make up segments.
All right.
Right? It's like a nice, cold nighttime kind of chill, smoky kind of vibe.
Am I allowed to answer the fucking question?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, nobody's stopping you.
When we decided to do this show 10 minutes ago, you didn't say, write down what have you been binging on. You said, what movies fucked my life up?
Oh, yeah, that's segment 2. I didn't tell you about segment 1. What have you been binging on? You've been on the airplane. I know what you've been binging on because you keep texting me. You're like, hey, check this out. Check this out.
I watch pro wrestling, man. I watch... like the wrestling world is crazy right now. You have no idea.
I know you're into it. You're like, holy shit, this just happened. Oh shit. Text. I'm like, oh Christ, he's gonna make me turn on wrestling. And then I do, and I have no idea what's going on. But you showed me something the other day. Who is the wrestler? I mean, out of nowhere, like a cannonball, she just flies across the ring and hits the guy in the belly. He goes, and he falls down, and he's dead.
I don't remember exactly what I showed you, but so I've been watching a lot of AEW, and actually over the holidays, I was down in Jacksonville, Florida. Well, I went to Tallahassee first, and then I went to my girlfriend and I went to Amelia Island for New Year's. We spent the New Year's Eve in Amelia Island on the coast of Florida. And on the way there, we stopped in Jacksonville at the AEW show on Wednesday night. It was, I guess, the 30th of December now. Going back a ways.
You go there for the show? It's not a touring thing? Well, I guess it's not touring because of COVID, but are they usually touring? Is that still the way that wrestling works?
Yeah, that is the way wrestling works pre-COVID, but because AEW is owned by the Khans, who own the Jacksonville Jaguars, there's actually a stadium, a little amphitheater, open-air theater next to the Jaguar Stadium called Daly's Place, and that's where they've been running all their shows on Wednesday nights.
Where do you tune in? Is it TNT, TBS? Are those still channels?
Buddy, TNT. That's where you can get it. TNT on Wednesday nights. Yeah, so it's real. I'll just go through it really quick. I don't want to be hung up on wrestling the whole show. So it's really cool right now. Everyone knows Vince McMahon owns the WWF, WWE as it's called now, right? So this AEW is like a startup company, and they're just over a year old. They just crowned a new champion, Kenny Omega, but now as soon as he won, he left, he ran out, and he took a helicopter over with this other guy who is the promoter of this other company, Impact Wrestling, that's on Access Television. So they're actually working with other companies instead of trying to compete against the other companies. They're working together.
Yeah.
with so it's pretty cool trying to like do crossover events and stuff. Actually, Kenny Omega just wrestled on Impact Wrestling's pay-per-view this past weekend, which was pretty cool. That's something that like Vince McMahon would never do, like his work with other companies, you know.
That's kind of how life is. You adapt or you die like a dinosaur, you know?
Yeah.
Like where I work in my day life, like I look at all these companies that like Toys R Us. How could Toys R Us be gone? Well, they didn't adapt. So it sounds like this is a group of smart people that are like the old fashioned way of kind of doing wrestling isn't there anymore. So is their main goal to be televised, or are they going to make more money on tour?
Well, no, they are televised. Yeah, they're televised every Wednesday night, and actually they got a deal for a second show on TNT, and they're running a second show every Tuesday night. It's a YouTube show. It's what they call dark. They film it after. I'm sorry, they film 2 matches pre-Dynamite for the fans to see that isn't on television, and then they film everything for this dark show after Dynamite goes off the air.
The dark show. Ooh.
Yeah.
Tell me about the dark show.
So it's on YouTube on Tuesday nights. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of independent wrestlers. That's what I was, an independent wrestler. So like if I was still in the independent wrestling scene, I would try to make my way to get onto this dark show and then try to keep getting on this dark show to get a contract with AEW to then be on television every Wednesday night.
I thought it was going to be something like you go down to this dingy cellar and everybody's got chains and you're like, yeah, you know, it's like, then suddenly Van Damme walks in, checks out the room and kicks everybody's ass.
Yeah, it's the exact same arena, just with no one in the crowd.
Oh, yay! Thank you, sir. That was the janitor just walking by. Oh shit! So I've been digging into this Toy Galaxy, right? It's a show, and it's all about like things from the '80s, like toys from the '80s, but not just toys, but also like some of the shows, some of the shit that you forgot. And it's weird. It's like the more you dive into this stuff, and I'm glad that these guys are uncovering it because I would have totally forgotten it. But it's super strange to like see that thing and go, holy shit, I remember that. And then like a little bit more of your brain unlocks, man, like totally wicked. Like you're just fucking like Airwolf. I was watching something on Airwolf and I was like, fucking Airwolf. I don't think I would have ever remembered Airwolf. So, smoke and go watch some of this stuff. And you're like, whoa, toys were so big for me and my friends. Like I remember a summer of just G.I. Joe adventures, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was my summer. And that was fun.
Dude, I remember that too. Like, I'm sure if you would dig in the side of my dad's hill up where he lives, you would still find some of my G.I. Joe and like Ghostbusters. I remember putting rockets like on all the shit and just like send it up into the air.
But you made stories. I mean, you kind of wrote your own movies. That's how I probably got so interested in script writing and things like that. I'm not a script writer, but I love like learning about the process. I love all that shit because I liked thinking up stories when I was a kid. And when you look back at some of this shit, it's like anything made in the 80s was made for a 13-year-old. I don't care what it was rated. It was made for a 13-year-old. So it's fun to go back and revisit all that shit. But there's a lot of times I'm just like, holy fuck, I remember that. And then I'm just remembering other things that were like related to it. I'm like, yeah, I had a friend. His name was TJ. What the fuck happened to TJ? Oh yeah, TJ introduced me to Greg. Greg got beat up in the parking lot. And like all these like memories start to sort of open up. Thank you, Toy Galaxy. Thank you for unlocking that murky part of my brain that apparently I'm trying to hide for some reason.
This is a YouTube show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
YouTube
there's a show like that on Netflix also. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's
The Toys That Made Us.
The Toys That Made Us. Yeah, it's a short series. I watched all of those, most of them. I can't say I've watched like the My Little Pony one because honestly, I don't really care about My Little Ponies, but I've watched like the wrestler ones. There was a wrestling one, remember?
Yep.
I watched the G.I. Joe one. There was a He-Man one, I think.
Yeah.
I watched all that shit, like, because I was into all that stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Big time.
the show's awesome because it's like, well, here's how we came up with that idea. We had a deadline, but we got real drunk and we were hungover and we had an hour left. So Freddie went and took a shit, took a notepad, drew He-Man, came back, said, here we go. We've been working on this for a month. Like, I love those behind the scenes stories.
Yeah. Yeah. I like when they're like, we couldn't come up with a character. We couldn't come up with a mold. So we took this figure and put this head on it.
You guys are geniuses. I remember He-Man, man. I do. I remember when, because I had Beast Man. Do you remember Beast Man?
Was he from He-Man?
Yeah, he was orange.
I'm sure I do. If I saw him, yeah.
He was one of the first waves. And then you knew they were running out of ideas when suddenly Moss Man comes out. It's Beast Man in like green AstroTurf to be like mossy. And you're like, you didn't even fucking try. You didn't try. You didn't change the face at all. I mean, we bought this shit up. We didn't care. We noticed, and then we said, our imaginations will never let us see that again. They are two different people. This is Beast Man. This is Moss Man. They're not even related.
It's crazy about that you say about these toys now because it all comes full circle because I collect toys again.
Yeah, I got my Jason figures too, so I'm not too far behind you, to be honest. I just looked up at my wall here. There's Venom, there's Spider-Man, Ash, Freddy, Michael Myers. I'm a toy collector too. You know what? I'm gonna pretend I'm above it. I guess I'm not.
So they've been hanging there this whole time, 25 episodes in, and you made fun of me several times for collecting toys.
I don't think I made fun of you. I let it seem like I was making fun of you, but I didn't. It's theater of the mind, Casey.
It's all smoke and mirrors.
All right, so this episode, we're making it up as we go along, which is what we did with one of our other episodes. What episode did we do that? We were just fucking winging
Galaxy of Terror, and that was one of our best ones, too.
All right, then that's our style. We have no style. We just have a couple ideas. And that last segment, what was that called? What are you binging on?
Yeah, what are you binging?
That was a hit. I'm already hearing how much people like that one. Instant feedback. If you subscribe to our podcast.
This just in, you do have a fan letter, correct?
I do have a fan letter. All right, we'll get to that at the end, though. We have an agenda. We have to stay organized. Right. We have to stay on point. We can't be professional if we just drift away and just start doing things willy-nilly.
So we're just the show that has no outline, but we have an outline.
It's not a concrete outline.
All right.
It's wiggly.
But you have to read that letter at the end.
Yes. Yes. Did you send the letter? Maybe you sent the letter because it was on. We'll get to the letter, man. You're pushing me. I can only do so many things at once. I could do less than one thing at once. All right. I'm trying to keep us on track. All right. So the next segment, Casey, is called the top 5 movies that fucked you up the most. I gave you 5 minutes to come up with this list. I gave myself.
I was ready for.
Yeah. I barely got through the list. So I was like, this segment is already going to fucking suck because I'm not going to be able to come up with 5. But at the last minute, I did it. All right. So I would love to know, Casey, starting at number 5, your least of the 5.
Well, I got 4. Since you gave me 5. Since you gave me 5 minutes. So
all right, tell me what your number 4 is.
I would say the least one would be Full Metal Jacket. Now, this is going back. This doesn't have to be when we were a child, or this is of any time of our life, right?
Yeah, you're almost 40, and if you're still fucked up by movies, then you got a soft spirit, and that's okay. You are a gentle man.
I am a gentle soul, bro. I haven't.
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Full transparency. I think I saw in pieces and never saw it together. So I don't know why everybody loves it so much.
Not only did it fuck
I
me,
know.
all right, it fucked me up, but I was a kid, I was like I had to be, I don't know, 10, 13, I don't know, something like that. Oh,
all right. So you were scared of the war aspect.
Well, not not only that, my dad was a Marine. Like, and I remember watching it with my dad.
Right.
And he never was in any war situations, but like I remember him telling me like that was exactly how Paris Island was. The way, and if you remember, the first half of that movie is all Paris Island, and there's some fucked up shit that happens in it.
I just remember the guy, the drill sergeant, yelling at the
Matthew Modine.
Yeah, and that's a good call. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out.
Yeah, I mean, now going back, I mean, it's one of my favorite movies. It's one of the best written movies, and like knowing that my dad was a Marine, you know. Well, it was before that time, obviously, because it came out after he was a Marine. But for him to say how accurate that at least the first half of that movie is, you know, my dad was never in any wars, but it showed me, I guess, how great a movie could be made. You know? Yeah.
It's a Stanley Kubrick movie.
Yeah.
No, I love Stanley Kubrick. I think I just do not like war movies. They're too real. I like movies that aren't real. Real life scares me enough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't watch war movies. I don't watch anything too real. And I like Platoon was big when I was young. Even Red Dawn was big. Remember that movie?
I never saw that.
Do you remember the premise? Like Charlie Sheen was in it. Patrick Swayze was like mid 80s. They were not big stars yet, but like the Russians dropped out from the sky and invaded America, and they're shooting up the school and students are dying. But these handful of kids, save the day. It's 80s. It's 80s shit, you know? So of course they saved the day, but like, it's just war was too real and too scary for me. So I never saw Platoon. I never saw lots of shit. What's the Private Ryan and Brian? I never saw that either.
Up until recently, I was the other way around. I prefer movies that would actually happen, like true, real stories.
Oh, really?
I until recently, within I'd say the last 5 years, 10 years, I got recently into like the superhero stuff, that type of stuff, the horror type stuff.
Would you watch serial killer stuff? Are you into that real life stuff?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. What's your number 5? Did you get 5?
I got 5. All right. So this one, really 1 through 4 are the ones that fucked me up. This one came close. So there's a movie. Do you know who Peter Jackson is?
Yeah.
Did you know that Peter Jackson, before he made Lord of the Rings and he made King Kong and, a couple other well-respected movies, did you know he made like crazy off-the-wall horror?
I know that only because you told me that prior to this conversation.
So he made a movie called Bad Taste. And This fucking thing was just foul ball the whole time. Here, go. You got to Google this. Look this one up.
Foul taste?
Bad taste.
Bad taste?
I called it a foul ball. That's what its poster should have said. Bad Taste by Peter Jackson is a foul ball. Don't you think that like all those movie posters that have all those like great quotes, if you wanted to get your name on a movie poster and your name was like, you're Casey Shearer and you're like, I would love to have my name on the Star Wars movie poster, but everyone hates it. Like everyone pans it. Wouldn't you be the one to go, it was fucking great. It blew my mind just to get your name on the movie poster. I swear to God, when you see a really shitty movie and it's like greatest movie of all time, Empire, you're like, it's not. You just know everybody else is going to say nothing good about it, and you just want the free publicity.
We talked about Bad Taste before on this podcast because I remember posting this picture in one of our clips. I remember putting this in one of the episodes, the movie poster for this Bad Taste.
Giving the middle finger?
Yeah, with an AK-47.
Yeah, it is brutal. There's another one called, and it's a comedy. It's a slapstick, Evil Dead 2 style, using all of, I guess it's New Zealand, I'm assuming, because Peter Jackson shoots in New Zealand. So it's this like New Zealand setting, which is already kind of abstract for simple-minded Americans in the 80s, you know. We don't know anything outside of our own backyards. So the whole thing seems trippy, and it's like there's zombies walking around. And then the zombies turn out to be alien zombies. The fucking movie is alien zombies. And I'm just, what the fuck is going on here? So people would come over and I'd be like, you got to see this movie. And it just, nobody could make it through this movie. Pretty fucked up shit.
Bad taste.
Bad taste. It's in bad taste. It's a foul ball.
Have you seen it since?
Not since, probably showed some people in the 90s. Not since the 90s. I might even be off a whole swing of years.
We'll have to do a watch along of Bad Taste if we can find it. If we can find it.
All right, what's your number? What's your next one?
All right, so I guess my next one, if we're going in order of least fucked up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this one only because I don't remember it all that often, and you gave me 5 minutes to make this list. But it was a movie called Chuck and Buck. And the only thing I sort of remember about it is I just watched like the trailer to it before we started. I think Buck and Chuck were friends when they were kids and, you know, moved apart, grew apart. Chuck got married. Buck's kind of like this weird dude and finds Chuck again and then like sort of becomes infatuated with him and like always just wants to hang around. And like in the one part that I watched, it was pretty weird. So it's still like just watching the scene that I watched was pretty uncomfortable.
Was it meant to be uncomfortable? Or was it meant to be woke and you were just like,
no, I mean, it's definitely like in the comments section on YouTube, they're all like, Joe Rogan brought me here. So Joe Rogan must have talked about it at one point with Sturgill Simpson. And it's like, yeah, everyone's like, wow, uncomfortable. This is awkward.
Yeah. Chuck and Buck.
Yeah, Chuck and Buck. Just think of the words that go together with those names.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they didn't name it like Neil and Bob.
But they could have.
That was an old Dice Clay joke.
What are your names, Neil and Bob? Is that like what you do, eh? Yeah.
All right, we're moving on. So the next movie I put on here, you ever see the movie I Spit on Your Grave, the original?
No, I haven't. I heard about it though.
Ooh, this one's rough, dude. This one is rough. So I don't know why they remade it. All right, so it's a 1978 movie. You know how like in that period, the best quality you could get was like, you know, like Beastmaster. Like that was high quality. But then you had like low quality 1978. You know, low quality 1980. This is one of those low quality movies, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When he's chasing that girl, and because it looks like it's shot with like this handheld camera, like it looks like lost footage. It just looks scarier. So this is filmed in that kind of style.
All right.
So basically, she goes out into the woods, cabin in the woods story. She's going out to get some time away. A bunch of guys see her. They rape her, dude, in a way that's like, this is like porn. How are we getting? This must have been way beyond rating systems, and it's really, really graphic. And then it becomes she's going to go pick each one of them off. So then it turns into a revenge movie, and the movie becomes awesome. So it's like fucks you up bad in the beginning, and then at the end you're like, yeah, get them. But it's such a weird emotional roller coaster. It is a dark movie. I Spit on Your Grave.
I Spit on Your Grave, the original, the OG. Have you seen the new one?
No, because I'm afraid it's going to be too much like the old one.
I mean, can they do that anymore?
I don't know what they can do anymore.
I don't think they can do that anymore. They remade that Charles Bronson movie with Bruce Willis, Death Wish.
Yeah.
In the original Death Wish, there was a brutal rape scene in the beginning with Jeff Goldblum raped Charles Bronson's wife and daughter, like with a gang. And
seems like such a nice guy.
I guess hopefully in real life he is.
I can't do this in real life. Was that good? No, it was awful. That's an impression I can't do.
I do not believe they did that in the new one with Bruce Willis. I'm not sure what that opening scene was, but I don't believe it was a rape scene.
Well, now we're all down and bummed out. What's your next movie?
All right. I guess let's go with I only have two more. So this one was like when I was my late teens, I guess. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Really? That fucked you up?
This one,
because you were fucked up when you watched it,
this
right?
one didn't fuck me up. This one changed my life. Like, I have a tattoo on my back of a scene from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And I have a scene, or I have a character. This tattoo up here, that one, is from the book. And it's on Tobey Maguire's shirt in the movie. It's Mickey Mouse on acid. It was Ralph Steadman and Hunter Thompson were very good friends. Ralph Steadman did all the artwork for Hunter Thompson. Yeah, that movie. And like when Barbara and I went to Colorado, I made sure I went to the Woody Creek Tavern, and I drove up around the corner and saw Hunter Thompson's house. And I believe I even mentioned it to you. You can rent his cabin out to stay there, but it's like a minimum of a 5-night stay, and it's like $500 a night.
How did he die?
Killed himself.
Yeah, did he kill himself there?
In the house. Yeah, this is the cabin next door.
I'm not renting that.
But yeah, have you seen the movie? Have you seen that?
I have. That's another one that you're reminding me I should go back and look at.
Yeah. Yeah, if you read, like, have you ever read a book?
Just in picture books. I only read picture books. If they put those squiggly little shapes in there, I can't do anything with it.
So most of the time, if a book is made into a movie, it's changed significantly.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They change things. If you go and you read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and watch the movie at the same time, it's word for word that movie.
I'm not that fast a reader.
It's insane the way that they did it, though. Like, everything that Hunter Thompson talked about, he recorded everything. Like, as he was writing, he recorded it. And then he had it transcribed into, somebody typed it then. So, like, there's a part of the movie or a part of the book where it's like, we're not exactly sure what happened here because the tapes were messed up. And then, like, in that part of the movie, I believe that's the part where they're all taking the adrenochrome. If you remember that part that they get from the human body, it can only be taken from the adrenaline gland.
Okay.
Of a human body. And Hunter Thompson, played by Johnny Depp, Benicio del Toro is playing his lawyer in that movie, and he says, you only need a tiny taste. And they show Johnny Depp in the background, and he's just like, glug, 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 just taking way too much. And I believe that's the part of the book that is missing.
Mm.
But yeah, that movie, yeah, and Hunter Thompson's book fucked my world up for quite a while.
I'm gonna have to catch up on it again.
Yeah, they're fun. I could. You wouldn't want to watch that with me. I could recite it word for word, most likely.
Oh, really?
Even after not seeing it for many years.
You're a fanboy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then actually, if you want to go back even deeper, there's another movie with Bill Murray. It's called Where the Buffalo Roam, and that's based on some of Hunter's writings from the 70s.
So I know something about that. I know that Bill Murray wanted to go and try to do a drama, and it bombed. Like, he was hot with his first couple movies or something like that, and he's like, well, I'll do this silly movie. I don't remember the story. I'm sure it's, Google it. They said, all right, you do our silly movie. We'll let you do this or make this Hunter S. Thompson movie. And it bombed. And I heard it kind of screwed up his momentum because he wanted to get away from just doing comedy.
Wow. Yeah, I never heard that. I know that him and Johnny Depp both, at separate times, obviously, when they were making the movie, but I believe they both lived with Hunter for a short amount of time in Colorado.
Maybe he was sleeping on their couch. Have you ever seen the Twilight Zone movie?
Not the movie.
That one fucked me up. There was a kid who had the power to like do anything or something like that. But there was a scene, I remember just watching it. It was one of those segment movies, like Creep Show or, you get scenes, you get skits, segments. You know what segments are?
Have you ever read a book?
Let me really explain this to you. But this kid had some kind of power to be able to make his parents disappear, and they were all terrified of what he was going to do to them. And I don't know why that kid scared the hell out of me. Like, just absolutely gave me nightmares.
This is your number 2?
This is my number 3.
3.
I'll skip ahead because you only got one more. So
the Twilight Zone movie.
Yeah. Yeah. And I won't go back and watch it again.
And when is that? When's that from?
The 80s.
The 80s.
You like Twilight Zone stuff.
I do. I really do.
Steven Spielberg has something to do with it. Produced
it. Is that Rod
something.
Serling also?
I think he was passed away, but it was kind of his homage to him.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a guy, I'm blanking on his name. His son is an actor too. Well, if you're watching the YouTube, we'll pop it on the screen. But he died in a accident on the movie. So like somebody actually died. A major star died in Twilight Zone. That movie's just fucking haunted.
Oh wow.
Fuck that movie.
There's another good series by Rod Serling that not a lot of people know about called The Night Gallery. It's sort of like the Twilight Zone. And I think the first one was done by Spielberg. And I know that our former guest, Joe Alves, had something to do with a lot of the Night Galleries. He was the production designer on a lot of them.
Let's dig back into there. The second one I got, I don't even know the name of this movie, and I'm hoping somebody can tell me what movie this is. So I have a distinct memory of being a kid, and I was supposed to be in bed, and I crawl out of bed, and I go downstairs, and my dad used to travel a lot, and my mom was just watching the movie alone. And in the 80s, man, violence was everywhere on TV. And I remember walking around the corner, and I remember seeing a guy get out of a helicopter, and the guy who's flying the helicopter goes, "I'm going to get that guy," and hits a switch and turns the helicopter on, and it goes and scalps the guy and kills the guy. Like, this isn't possible. This can't be done. But as a kid, I saw that, and I was like, I can't sleep anymore, Bob. I'm done. I'm never sleeping again. Never sleeping. I still, remember we were talking about the scene in Beastmaster where they throw the baby into the fire, and in my imagination, I remember it like a lot more vividly and a lot more, awfully. This is probably one of those things, but it was so awful. I need somebody to tell me what movie this is.
I'm trying to look it up. Are you sure it was a movie?
No, it could have been a dream. Could have been a fucking nightmare. All right. Well, what's your number 1 movie?
All right. So my number 1 movie, and this just is a fairly recent movie. It didn't really fuck me up all that much. I just thought it was a fucked up movie. Tusk.
Oh yeah. Ugh. That's pretty rough. That's a hard movie.
I love that movie, man. I love it. And it really like made me I like always knew of Kevin Smith, you know what I mean? Like, but I was never a big Kevin Smith fan. Like, those movies didn't really ever do it for me when I was growing up, I just kind of thought they were all pretty stupid, But Tusk, yeah, that's a fucked up movie. If you're into, talk about original, it doesn't, there's no other movie like it.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
When
it ends, you're uncomfortable. You're just like, fuck you guys for making this movie. I just paid to see this, and I'm walking out miserable.
I can't wait till he's supposed to complete the trilogy, the Tri-North trilogy, and he's supposed to make Moose Jaws.
Oh boy.
And
What's
it's
Moose
supposed to be exactly the movie Jaws, but with a moose.
And did the big antlers close in like like a shark jaw?
I'm not sure. Yeah, but if you haven't seen Tusk and you're into fucked up movies, it's with Justin Long and who's the kid from Sixth Sense?
That would be Haley Joel Osment.
Haley Joel. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucked up.
Well, my last movie, I don't even know if you know about this movie. Maybe you do, but I don't know a whole shit ton about it because this movie scares me so much that even when I see things like, just cruising on YouTube and YouTube's, knows better than me algorithm is always like, hey, this is what you would like and you would like this and you would like this. And then if they put this movie in front of me, I get all nervous and uncomfortable. Would you like to watch behind the scenes making of this movie? I get really uneasy. The movie's called Time Bandits.
Oh, Terry Gilliam.
Yep. I know you should check it out and watch it again, but I saw it in the movie theater, and the only thing I remember is the parents. I must have some weird thing with parents. Remember they touched the stone and they vanish at the end?
No, that's not the movie I'm thinking of then.
It had some of the cast of Monty Python. It was like the Seven Dwarfs type of scenario.
Well, Terry Gilliam was in Monty Python.
Right.
It was on my list of things to watch. Is Jennifer Tilly in it?
Maybe. I'm telling you. I saw it as a kid. My dad took me to see it. I was never the same. I was so scared of losing my parents for that damn movie. And I'll say to people, like, that's the movie I won't watch. And they say, well, why? I said, because of that scene. And nobody seems to say, yeah, that scene was in it. I'm not even sure I
Connery was in it. Shelley Duvall.
People love this movie, and I'm too scared to watch it again.
It gets a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to suck it up. We'll do an episode where we watch it and you just hear me get all scared.
And we could do a watch along with it.
Hey, see, I'm scared.
I'll tell you the movie that I was thinking of, the Terry Gilliam movie that I was thinking of, is called Tideland.
Never
Have you ever seen that?
No.
That movie is fucked up. That's my number one.
That's your new number one. Well, I'll have to check it out.
Dude, the only thing I remember from that movie is Jennifer Tilly and Jeff Bridges, I believe, are the parents in this movie. And they were both addicted to heroin, I believe. I just remember the little girl in the movie having to shoot the parents up with heroin.
Oh.
And then one of them, I'm pretty sure Jennifer Tilly died and they stuffed her body or something, laid her body in the bed and it was, that's my number one.
That sounds good.
Yeah, any movie where a child is shooting their parents with heroin.
You just reminded me of another one, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Oh my God, that's the worst one. That's so bad that it didn't even make my list. I blocked it out. All right, it has Michael Rooker in it. I remember it looks so real and grisly.
He plays a good fucked up character.
Oh no, that movie. Yeah, you kill a kid, you cross a line, and I'm like, oh, this movie just keeps crossing fucking lines. Not because he's constantly killing kids, but it's just everything I saw was one just head in a box next to another.
Jason Voorhees doesn't even kill kids, man.
No, it's sacred. You don't kill dogs and you don't kill kids. Cats, flip a coin on that one. Well, how'd you like that segment? That was the top 5 segment of the show.
I like that.
Yeah. All right. Making it up as we go. Kind of. So the last one is the letter segment, Casey. We got a letter. So in the
got a letter.
Group, yeah, we have a Facebook group. People are in there, and Casey's keeping everybody up to date and trying to get some interaction going in there. I posted, hey, if you want to see anything on the show or have any questions or anything.
So was this snail mail? Someone sent you a letter? Someone sent you a letter?
No, it was an email. But they didn't sign it. So now I made the form. You have to put your name in there.
Wait. How the fuck did someone send you a message on Facebook and you don't have their name?
No. It wasn't on Facebook. It was through the website. So you go to deluxeedition.show, and there's a section that just contact us. And I said, just send some shit. Give us some content. We're being lazy. And I thought you wrote this. What happened to that 80s movie quiz?
I did not write that. I didn't even know we had a thing that you could do that.
You and me talked about it, and I think I know who wrote this because I was mentioning it to somebody. We were going to do a pop quiz game, an 80s pop quiz trivia. You're going to try to beat me. That was the idea.
Yeah.
We can do it right now. Let's fucking do it right now.
No.
Right now. Go online. You can just ask me the questions and see if I get it. All right. Go online and pick a pop culture question.
All right. Give me 2 seconds.
All right. We could edit all this out. We're going to keep score for the entire show if we do this again. I can't be beat.
All right, Bill. Are you ready?
All right. Here we go.
Would you like 80s music trivia, 80s movie trivia, 80s TV trivia, or 80s pop culture trivia?
All right. Let's be specific. Pick one. Pick one of the first three. I'm okay with all those.
All right. You're well versed in music.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with 80s TV trivia.
The old switcheroo.
All right, we'll start with an easy one here. Mike, Ben, and Carol Seaver were from which show?
Growing Pains.
All right.
All right, I'm 1 for 1. We got to keep score on this. I want to do this game every episode.
All right. Which show, hosted by Mario Cantone, involved trivia questions and a maze?
What is this 80s trivia?
It sure is, bub.
No, it isn't. Mario Cantone, the comedian. He wasn't around in the 80s.
I will give you a hint. The show aired between 1987 and 1993 on WWOR. And Mario Cantone continued to star on numerous television shows and developed a successful comedy career after this show.
Throw it away. I didn't have WWOR. I wasn't lucky enough to live in New York. That was one of those channels where, like, if you worked really hard with the antennas in the 80s, like, you might be able to pick up a speck of it. I think
that was a specific New York show?
Yeah. Let me look that up. I want to make sure.
Right.
WWOR.
I guess since you don't want to play along with the real game.
Secaucus, New Jersey, serving Greater New York City. Yeah, I can't be on the hook for that. But aren't you goddamn impressed that I know what WWOR is?
Yeah.
All right, hit me with another one.
That should give you something.
What was the name of the game?
All right. What was the name of the game? The show was Steam Pipe Alley.
No.
Moving along. Which sitcom featured a collection of teenagers, including Charlie Moore?
Charlie Moore was a teenager? I think you might got me on this one. A collection of teenagers. One of them's name is Charlie Moore.
Yes. Would you like to know more about the show?
Yeah. I mean, there could be a lot of shows with teenagers in the 80s.
You're right. All right. So this show featured a group of honor students in a high school, and the show aired between 1986 and 1991. Honor students.
Is it Square Pegs?
Oh.
Honor students. I mean, I know it's not Facts of Life. I'm thinking of any group of kids in the 80s.
This was a good one. I even remember this one.
I'm remembering the one with the father was a coach of a Heather Langenkamp was in that one. I don't think that's it. All right.
Head of the class.
Head of the class. Charlie Connors. The name of the guy was the name of
the character's name was Charlie Moore.
What happened to him? Dr.
Hessman.
Johnny Fever. Howard Hessman. Yeah. What happened to Howard Hessman? We got to have Howard Hessman on the show. Oh, is he dead? Hold on. Hey, Google. Is Howard Hessman dead?
I don't understand.
Google doesn't know. was Howard Hessman ever alive? Howard Hessman dead is what I'm asking Google. No, looks like he's alive.
Live and well. I'll get his info.
He lives in Lebanon, Oregon.
All right.
His phone number is 2218.
Oh, prank call. All right. So you're 1 for 3, 1 for 2.
Bummer.
All right. 1 for 2. I won't count the 1. Let's see. Are you familiar with the show Cheers, Bill?
Sure, I could do some cheers.
All right. How many children did Carla have by the end of the show Cheers?
God, that's a hard question. I think it's 6.
You would be wrong.
What is it?
Carla had 8 children.
I remember there's a lot of kids. Do you remember who her husband was on the show?
He was a hockey player.
What was his name?
that.
They
His
got a
name-
spinoff.
No.
Yeah. Carla and him got a spinoff.
No, they did not.
Yeah, they
Get
did.
your
What's her
act
name?
together.
Rhea Perlman, right?
Yeah. They did not have a spinoff. He died on the show.
She married his ghost in this spinoff called "I Love You, Even in Death." What the fuck is the show?
You're thinking of Frasier. Frasier had a spinoff of Cheers. That was the only spinoff of Cheers.
Not true.
Yes, it is. Hey, Google, how many spinoffs did the show Cheers have?
Sorry, I don't have any information.
Might has tried to answer you.
Do you want to know which show has the most spin-offs?
No,
I'm telling you, you've unlocked something. I'm not wrong.
I know you're wrong because I'm a
It had
big
the guy-
Cheers fan.
It had the guy that was in Commando.
Sorry.
So I'm going to have to backtrack through this. All right, so we go to Commando. Yeah, I just saw his fucking face. It just popped up.
The Tortellis.
The Tortellis.
All right, you were
I
right.
told you. The Tortellis.
How did you not find that? All I did was typed in Cheers spinoff show.
Come on, IMDb.
The Tortellis, 1 season. Dan Hedaya and Gene Kasem. So it wasn't even Carla.
Well, I got that wrong. I thought she was on the show.
So wait, so Carla Tortelli, her ex-husband on the show, Dan Hedaya, got a spinoff show.
All right, that's what I remember, but I'm looking on IMDb and I can't find it.
You can't find
There
the
it is.
Tortellis.
There it is, the Tortellis. Yeah.
What the hell? That's the weirdest spinoff show that I've ever heard of.
Gene Kasem was like in the 80s, you always had that bombshell. She was the bombshell. She was Casey Kasem's wife.
Yeah.
And there was a whole, remember when Casey Kasem died? One half of the family wanted to do some with the body, and she wanted to do some with the body. Everybody's fighting over poor Casey Kasem's dead body.
Yeah, they hauled him around for like the longest time, right?
But I got it, right? Didn't I answer this kind of right?
No.
What was the question?
How many kids did Carla
Kids.
have? You said 6. She had 8. So
Well,
you're 1
there's-
for 3.
There's 6 in the Tortellis. So, so I think I'm kind of right.
But Carla had 8 children.
All right.
She had 4 with Nick.
I guess I'm not as good as I pretend to be. Any others in there?
Oh, there's tons here.
Rapid fire. Go.
Who was the leading character on the 1980 sitcom show Silver Spoons?
Ricky Schroeder.
Ricky Schroeder, you're correct. At the beginning of the series, Roseanne, where was the main character Roseanne working?
She was a garbage collector. I don't know.
She was working at a plastic factory.
Okay.
Angela, Tony, Sam, and Mona.
Angela, Tony, Sam, and Mona.
What
Who's
show?
the boss?
Yeah.
All right. Who's the boss?
Which show ran throughout 1988 through 1990 and was highlighted by the Peanuts gang?
What show was highlighted by the Peanuts gang? I mean, it's a Snoopy show.
I didn't even know about this one. It's called This Is America, Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Don't know that one.
Never heard of it. I'll let that one slide.
Didn't exist. It's not real.
All right. That's it. Rapid fire music ones.
Yes. Hit me.
After the death of lead singer Bon Scott, what album did AC/DC release first?
Oh God, AC/DC, Lost Bon Scott. Got the guy who goes, fire!
It was their 7th studio album. Brian Johnson joined the group and did the song's lead vocals.
Was it Back in Black?
Black in Black, baby. All right, Rick Ocasek, singer. Which
Cars.
musical groups?
The Cars.
You're
Or
correct,
just-
sir. Which 1983 Tom Cruise film featured Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger?
That's the one where he slides in with Rebecca De Mornay. Risky Business.
Risky Business. Which song by the Bangles was the Hot 100 #1 song 1986?
Walk Like an Egyptian.
Wow. Why do you know that? Which band released songs like You Sure Fooled Me, What You Do to Me, and Crazy?
I don't know. Crazy. It could be. I don't know.
He co-founded United for Safe Energy with Bonnie Raitt, Graham Nash, and Jackson Brown. He also earned a spot in the U.S. House of Representatives in 2007, working for the 19th Congressional District of New York.
I have no idea. John Cougar Mellencamp.
No, his name is John, but John Hall. The John Hall Band.
John Hall, and John Oates.
I don't
got
know.
that wrong.
Didn't say anything about-
I don't know. Don't know John Hall.
Let's
Anthony
see.
Michael.
Barbara Streisand's Woman in Love was a top-selling hit in 1980, but who wrote it?
Burt Bacharach.
Barry and Robin Gibb.
Who's Barry and Robin Gibb?
The
Turning
Gibbs.
right back on you. The
The Bee
Gibbs?
Gees.
The Bee Gees. There we go.
It's
See?
written down right here.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, I've had enough. I got to get some sleep.
All right, buddy. This was a fun one, man. Tell everyone where they can find us. And we have a little sponsor now, right?
We do have a sponsor. So we're working with. Let me pop up an ad. I'm too tired to do a commercial. We're working with Jay and Silent Bob's CBD company. So they gave us the ability to offer a free couple. Well, what are they? They're pre-rolls, right? They're CBD pre-rolls. And all you have to do is go to jsilentbobfree.com, use the keyword deluxe, and you can get 3 for free. All you got to do is pay for shipping, which is $5. So I thought that was pretty cool. Then they offered us the, I'm not even sure you're aware of this, Casey. So if you go to Bucci Bears, Casey, Bucci Bears, BOOCHIEBEARS.com, and you put in the keyword edition. See what we did there? Then you can actually get the same deal. They'll give you a free jar of gummy bears, CBD gummy bears. Just pay the shipping, which is $5. So jsbaffiliate.com with deluxe as the keyword if you want pre-rolls, or BucciBears.com with edition as the keyword if you want gummies. Try them out. You know, I've tried a lot of CBD things. I'm always like, these don't work. I didn't get to try this one yet, but my wife did. She's like, oh, yeah, I can feel it. This one has some kick to it. So at least you know this one's a real product, not like most of those other fakes that seem to be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I tried mine, but I tried what I did was, like you had suggested in the first ad that you did, I broke mine up and I put it in with my medical marijuana, and it did the trick.
Well, get an order of the gummies, see if you like those.
Absolutely.
Give us an endorsement.
I will, for sure.
Unless you hate them, unless you get sick from them. Then we won't use them anymore as a sponsor.
I don't think anybody's going to be getting sick. So yeah, if you go to our website, deluxeedition.show, you can find all those links on there. And we're also an affiliate of Instacart. You can find that link on there. Instacart's big right now during the COVID-19 situation, during all the lockdown stuff. You can go on there and have someone else do all your grocery shopping for you. And I think you get some money off if you use our code or use our link the first time.
Yeah, it's easy. My wife does it. Easy program.
Yeah. All right, bud. This was a fun one, man. So we'll do a watch along or something next. We did a couple of polls on Facebook group, and it seems like the watch alongs were some of the fun things that people liked. And we'll just do a lot more of this stuff.
We have some guests coming up, but taking a little break for a little bit while we get the studio fine tuned. It's a technical nightmare.
Yeah. All right, brother.
All right. Talk to you soon.
See you, buddy.